Tea Timers. Contestant number 2, Ken Blake. Who is Sheila? Who is Sheila? Ken Blake.
Recently, my son came to me with a question. Dad, I met this gal, and I think she is the one for me. Wow. He's 37 years old. Yeah, how many times I've heard that question? Tell me a little bit about her, John. Well, there's a problem. She likes to party. She's the party type, and I'm not the party type guy. I need your advice. What should I do? John, remember the story I told you years ago about Sheila? Thank you, Dad. I understand. To tell everybody here tonight the story of Sheila, I have to go back to the mid-1980s. By that time, I was restoring automobiles and had been doing this and had accrued for about 8 years lots of knowledge. And in the field that I had pursued, which is learned by the School of Hard Knocks, I was considered one of the top automobile restorers in the country. But I was small and I was trying to grow. Always looking for that right person to come along that would emulate me. Because I'm a person of perfection and you can only do the job one time. I got a phone call from a gentleman in Atlanta named Mark. Had heard about the work that I was doing in Florida and wanted to come down and work under me. And I was so enthralled I couldn't believe it. Okay. He said, there's a problem. I don't know if I can leave the love of my life, Sheila. I love her so much, but everybody tells me she's not the girl for me. Okay. She stays out late. She drinks. She smokes. She does other things that I guess girls aren't supposed to do. But he wanted to come to Florida so bad, he told me he would leave her there. He says, I will leave her in Atlanta and come to Florida. 3 weeks later, we decided this was the time. And he showed up at my driveway on a Friday afternoon driving a brand new truck, even though I didn't think he had any money. And would you care to guess who was in the passenger side? Yeah. Sheila came with Mark. But it was okay. My wife sitting at the table, she was there. They brought us presents. Did you hear it? Case of beer and a carton of cigarettes, neither of what we used. But we tried to see if it would work. We gave them our blessing. They could stay with us until they got on their feet. Okay, ground rules number 1. Please do not smoke in our house. Very simple. Number 2. We don't like a lot of noise because, see, we're older. And you guys are young. And we don't like, well, we were young too. So a little bit of noise is okay. And number 3, which is the most important for me, do not go in the swimming pool by yourself. It's just not safe. Simple. 4 o'clock in the morning that night, we awoke to the smoke alarm. But it's okay. You see, Sheila said she wasn't in the house. She was in the bathroom. Okay. The next morning, we all had to get up, go to work. But see, her little blue eyes don't awaken until afternoon. She was up at 7 o'clock. The next day, I believe it was around 3:30 in the morning, bacon and eggs. Everybody likes breakfast, but I don't know whether she was coming in or she was just getting up. I think it was the first. The third day was the worst. And my wife called me and she said, "You have to come home now. You'll see on the way home." And as I'm driving home, I see it. Pool party 3721. That's me. You're right. She was not alone in the pool. I'd lived in my neighborhood for 3 years and did not know that many neighbors. There were over 20. My wife was there, and what the question was, "Come on in, the water is fine." Sheila stayed with us another day, and we found them an apartment. She was there for less than 30 days. At the end of 30 days, she happened to run off with the son of a restaurant owner, my favorite barbecue ribs. I was never allowed back in the restaurant again. And she left, and I never saw Sheila again. Mark stayed with me for another 30 days. He went back to Atlanta. And I used to tell this story about this gal, how bad she was. Nobody could put up with somebody like that. And then I got a phone call 10 years later from Mark. "Ken, this is Mark. Happened to run across your number." "I'm doing the same thing you are. You taught me so much in that little time that I was there." "Really? Short time. You weren't even here." Got to tell you that I'm the happiest person on the planet. The happiest person. Mark, whatever happened to Sheila? Sheila, you know the gal that you brought down here? She's right here by my side. We've been married for 10 years. We have 3 wonderful children. 8. She's a nurse, and I love her to death. That is the story of Sheila.